Fellow gardeners, let me share something that completely revolutionized my approach to plant nutrition. After years of experimenting with various organic fertilizers, I discovered that some of the most powerful plant food was literally sitting in my neighbor's goat pen, waiting to be transformed into what I now call liquid gold. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact process I use to create nutrient-rich liquid fertilizer from goat droppings that will have your plants thriving like never before. The beauty of goat manure lies in its perfect balance of nutrients and its gentle nature on plants. Unlike chicken manure, which can burn delicate roots if not properly aged, goat droppings offer a milder yet incredibly effective feeding solution. What makes this even better is that we're going to extract all those nutrients into a liquid form that your plants can absorb immediately. Before we dive into the how-to, let's understand what makes goat manure such a gardening treasure. Goats are natural composters, consuming a diverse diet of grasses, weeds, leaves, and browse. This varied diet translates into manure that's rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the holy trinity of plant nutrition. But here's what really sets goat droppings apart. They contain beneficial microorganisms that promote soil health and improve nutrient uptake in plants. The pellet-like structure of goat droppings also makes them incredibly convenient to work with. Unlike cow manure, which can be messy and inconsistent, goat pellets are uniform, easy to handle, and break down beautifully when we transform them into liquid fertilizer. Plus, goats are ruminants, meaning their digestive process naturally reduces weed seeds, so you won't be introducing unwanted plants to your garden. The first step in creating your liquid fertilizer is sourcing high-quality goat droppings. If you don't have goats yourself, reach out to local farms, petting zoos, or hobby farmers in your area. Most goat owners are happy to share their bounty, often for free or a small fee. When collecting, look for dry, well-formed pellets that don't have an overly strong ammonia smell, which could indicate the manure is too fresh. Fresh goat droppings can be used immediately for liquid fertilizer, but I prefer to let them age for at least 2 weeks. This aging process mellows the nitrogen content and reduces the risk of burning sensitive plants. Store your collected droppings in a breathable container like a burlap sack or wooden crate, keeping them in a dry, well-ventilated area. You'll also need a few basic supplies: a large container for brewing, a smaller container for straining, cheesecloth or fine mesh strainer, a wooden spoon for stirring, and clean water. Non-chlorinated water works best, but if you only have tap water, let it sit out for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to evaporate. My preferred method for creating liquid fertilizer is what I call the cold brew technique. Start by filling your large container with water, leaving about 4 inches from the top. Add goat droppings at a ratio of roughly 1 part manure to 10 parts water. Don't worry about being precise. This isn't rocket science, and plants are forgiving. Stir the mixture thoroughly, then cover it with a loose-fitting lid or cloth. The covering should allow air circulation while keeping insects and debris out. Place your container in a shaded area where it won't freeze, and let nature do its work. Over the next 7 to 14 days, stir your mixture daily. You'll notice the water gradually darkening as nutrients leach from the manure. The brewing process is complete when the liquid resembles weak tea and has a rich, earthy smell rather than a sharp ammonia odor. If it smells particularly pungent or putrid, it may have gone anaerobic. Simply stir more frequently and ensure better air circulation. Sometimes you need fertilizer faster than the cold brew method allows. For these situations, I use an accelerated hot brewing method that produces usable fertilizer in just 24 to 48 hours. This technique requires more attention, but delivers quicker results. Heat water to just below boiling, around 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Pour this hot water over your goat droppings using the same 10:1 ratio. The hot water immediately begins extracting nutrients, creating a concentrated tea. Stir thoroughly and allow the mixture to cool to room temperature. Once cooled, let it steep for another 12 to 24 hours, stirring occasionally. The hot method extracts nutrients more aggressively, resulting in a darker, more concentrated liquid fertilizer. However, some beneficial microorganisms may not survive the heat, so I recommend alternating between hot and cold brewing methods depending on your immediate needs. Regardless of which brewing method you choose, proper straining is crucial for creating a usable liquid fertilizer. Using cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer, separate the liquid from the solid matter. I usually strain twice, once through a coarse strainer to remove large particles, then again through cheesecloth for a smooth, debris-free liquid. Don't discard those leftover solids. They make excellent compost material or can be worked directly into garden beds as a slow-release amendment. The strained liquid should be stored in clean containers, preferably dark-colored ones that block light. Glass jars, plastic jugs, or food-grade buckets all work well. Your liquid fertilizer will keep for several months when stored properly in a cool, dark location. I always label my containers with the brewing date and dilution ratio. If you notice any off-putting smells or unusual growth in your stored fertilizer, it's time to make a fresh batch. The key to successfully using goat manure liquid fertilizer lies in proper dilution and application timing. For most plants, I dilute the concentrated tea at a ratio of 1:4 with water, 1 part fertilizer to 4 parts water. This creates a gentle yet effective feeding solution that won't shock or burn your plants. Apply your diluted fertilizer during cool parts of the day, either early morning or evening, to prevent leaf burn and maximize absorption. Water the soil around plants rather than spraying leaves directly, as wet foliage can encourage fungal diseases. For container plants, pour the diluted fertilizer slowly until it begins to drain from the bottom holes. Frequency of application depends on your plant's needs and growth stage. During active growing seasons, I feed heavy feeders like tomatoes, squash, and leafy greens weekly. Established perennials and less demanding plants receive monthly applications. Always water plants with plain water between fertilizer applications to prevent salt buildup in the soil. Even experienced gardeners encounter challenges when making liquid fertilizers. If your brew develops a foul smell that doesn't improve with stirring, you may have anaerobic conditions. Increase air circulation, stir more frequently, and consider starting over if the smell persists. Cloudy or stringy liquid fertilizer usually indicates bacterial overgrowth. While not necessarily harmful, it's often better to dilute heavily or compost the batch rather than risk plant health. Clear, dark liquid with an earthy smell indicates a successful brew ready for use. Creating liquid fertilizer from goat droppings isn't just about feeding plants. It's about building a sustainable, cost-effective gardening system that connects you more deeply with natural growing processes. This simple technique has saved me hundreds of dollars in commercial fertilizers while producing healthier, more resilient plants. The microorganisms in properly brewed goat manure tea don't just provide nutrients, they improve soil structure, enhance water retention, and create beneficial relationships with plant roots. Over time, you'll notice improved soil health, reduced pest problems, and more robust plant growth throughout your garden. Remember that gardening is a journey of continuous learning and experimentation. Start with small batches, observe how your plants respond, and adjust your techniques accordingly. Every garden is unique, and what works perfectly for me might need tweaking for your specific conditions and plants. Ready to transform your garden with this liquid gold? Give this method a try and experience the difference that nutrient-rich homemade fertilizer can make. Don't forget to subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more practical gardening wisdom, and share this article with fellow gardeners who are ready to take their growing to the next level. Your plants and your wallet will thank you.